The Patriots did get a teeny bit of good news. In addition to losing, if you consider that to be good news.
Yeah.
They're still
talk, baby.
They're still number 2, but they're now 1 game back of that number 1 overall pick because the Falcons were enough of a train wreck to allow themselves to lose to the Panthers. What a bad game that was. Anyway,
what was it, 10-7 or 9-7?
It was 9-7. Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine losing to a team? Oh, oh my God! Wait, whoa, too fast. Because the Patriots did lose to a team that didn't score a touchdown against them. But oh my God, you can't throw any stones as a Patriots follower this season. Because anything that you think you could say about another team, it's just like, yeah, but you guys did X, Y, Z. But damn, 9-7, that's rough.
It's rough, and it was rough, and that's what happened. But that gets the Patriots one step closer to a potential 1 pick, which is game changing because that really does make your, change your overall, outlook there considerably. They are still, the Commanders lose, so there's still that 4-win team. Again, if you're the Patriots, you really don't want to win 2 of the last 3 at this point. No. You know that much. But you're okay. If you lose 1, the worst you could fall to is 4. And that's bad because that'll take you out of 2 quarterbacks and Marvin Harrison probably. And now you're in the 3rd best quarterback or tackle land or trading back. And I think you get that close to the top. You either got to be aggressive as hell and trade up and get your quarterback.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I think if they end up there, they're just going to trade up. You can't mess around at that point. But if you get the 1st or the 2nd, then, or especially the 1st, that's where you have some movement. And it's like, all right, if we like one guy, but they're probably going to go with somebody else, we get some more assets. Like, yeah, just if you fall out and you win another game, then you go from being in a really good position where you have some flexibility, or can just get your guy to pretty much being in a spot where you have to give up capital, or you have to settle for like a Jaden Daniels, which, he's very talented, but he's not Drake May, he's not Caleb Williams.
And that's where they're at right now. And if a more challenging strength of schedule hurts you in these standings. And so it's close with Carolina and New England there. You see percentage-wise. I don't know based off of Jets, Broncos, Bills, what it would be and if the Patriots can possibly there. But Arizona is going to finish for sure with a stronger strength of schedule. They, in fact, had a tougher go of the remaining games, but I'm not sure it's going to be the same with Carolina. So you can win that tiebreaker with Arizona and stay in that 2 slot. But if you go to 4 wins, all of a sudden you are allowing 3 teams ahead of you. So again, for those people who are, really paying attention to this stuff, that's what you have in terms of your tankathon, hopes here. So
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
That's that. I guess the question we'll ask, is there a world in which you could see Bailey, as you said, Bailey Zappi looked much better for the first half of this game than he did last game. As well, and looked like a competent quarterback. We have now seen the Brock Purdy success story when he was given the reins and allowed to kind of run with it. Is there any world in which Zappi could do something to change your overall opinion of him and think that this is somebody who might surprise you?
I mean, it's his 2nd season. I don't really like to say I know what a player is until they get 3 years under their belt, because then like first year can be really tough on rookies, and 2nd year it's just like, oh, you think you got all the first year stuff down, but then there are other things you need to improve before you can really get get a groove going a lot of the time. 3rd season is usually when it's like, all right, you got a couple years of experience, so that's not an excuse anymore. Usually you've gotten enough action that the physical stuff starts to catch up and you really understand. So like if Zappi, at this point, I think that he is not locked himself in, but made a stronger case to come back and fight for a backup spot. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes into training camp next year and is in a better place because he's been in the system. He's really got some actual time on the field, especially later in the season where it's going to be fresher. But I don't think he's Brock Purdy. I think I will say, I made a joke on Twitter because the throw he had where he spun out and threw, that looked like Brock Purdy. He's had a few where you can see the limited athleticism quarterback who is still aggressive and tries to put the ball downfield. I saw some of that, but I don't think it's on a down-to-down basis. And again, part of that is a supporting cast. If you get Bailey Zappi, a top 10 offensive line, and a top 12, 13 receiving core, then who knows? Maybe he looks better because we've seen that he has the potential, but the consistency is not there, and we've never really seen it for a full game. We've seen it when he was a backup, but I think even when he was a backup last season, the throws he was making were even more conservative than they are now because he's really being more aggressive. Last year, he was throwing at wide open guys and then shots at Devontae Parker. I think he's kind of taken a step forward this year. So yeah, I'll say that I think there's room for him to still grow. But I mean, he's got a lot of ground to make up because 2 weeks in a row where you just completely disappear in the second half and turn into the quarterback that was benched for you is not a good sign.
It's not a good sign whatsoever. Tayler, any other final points before we wrap this up here?
I will say, with the big run that the Patriots gave up, I got to talk to Devon Gotcha about that. Just because, it seemed like a minor play. I don't think it contributed to any of their scoring drives allowed. But it was weird because the look that they had, the way that their front was, they were wide open in the A gaps, right in the middle of the line, which isn't normal for them. So I was like, what happened there? Because you guys they only held the Chiefs at 2.2 yards per rush with that play. And he was like, yeah, it was just a miscommunication. He actually said they had 3 miscommunications in a row or something like that. And that was the only one that they actually got caught on. But he said that they were blitzing Duggar and that somebody was supposed to slide to the left, I think he said, but it didn't get picked up. And they were wide open and got exploited. But he was also saying that Chiefs, after the game, were like, yeah, we knew that we couldn't run on you guys. They were throwing all the quick passes were an extension of that. And that's a frustrating thing as a Patriots fan because the Chiefs offense was saying that we knew we had to basically play with one arm tied behind our back. And the defense really, for the most part, did its thing, which is, it's still frustrating. But that was, I thought, pretty funny that one, we now know that it was, in fact, a miscommunication, but also that the Chiefs came in here being like, yeah, we're probably not going to be able to run on these guys. And they've earned it because they've been dominant.
And they didn't. And you're right. It's 43 yards on the ground, and one was a 20-yard run. That's it, Yeah. And then it was 19 carries for 23 yards the rest of the way. And that counts. That also counts for Mahomes kind of, leaving the pocket there too. But still, I mean, really, really grisly stuff on that side. And I mean, for the Chiefs, but again, a strength of the Patriots. Again, when you look forward and you talk about fixing stuff, the Patriots look like they're in so much disrepair because the offense is beyond most people's worst nightmare. It's kind of like my worst fears. I was very nervous about it, both in terms of not having enough bodies on the offensive line, neglecting receiver and tackle, in not addressing it in any serious way in the offseason, not having playmakers or field stretchers or people, or a quarterback who can really get the ball downfield, and put pressure on a defense. I was pretty worried. And I think it got worse and worse and worse as time went on, and Mac lost his confidence. And so it's so bad, Tayler, it's so bad that everyone looks at the whole thing and is like, oh my God, they're like a million miles away. I kind of go back and forth on this. I don't think a quarterback saves everything. But I do think based off of the money that you have and the draft capital that you have, it would be surprising to not only address the quarterback position, but also make significant inroads in those other areas of need and be able to rise to competent faster than people think. I don't think you can solve it all and be one of the league's most, and there will be growing pains, certainly if you're working in a rookie quarterback. And also you could find yourself in friggin' Daniel Jones land, or even worse, Zach Wilson land. And this is the path you've chosen. You did not have a succession plan to Tom Brady, and here you are. But in terms of addressing some of the rest of the areas, I think you can do it. And I think you can address quite a few of them all at once here. And so that's kind of hoping that they do. But the defense being so good against the run, and then also knowing that you have enough people back there in the defensive backfield, if you are able to retain a couple of guys, that you're going to be okay. Like, this defense is going to keep you in ball games if you just aren't a historically bad offense as they are right now.
Yeah, because if you get a quarterback, that's your first force multiplier. So, like, a guy who rises all ships. They don't have a quarterback who can do that. They don't have a quarterback who can make incredible plays when pressure comes and plays break down. They don't have somebody who can just put the ball consistently in spots where guys can make a play on it even when there's good defense. Like, they just don't have that in any consistent way right now. So the quarterback kind of makes everybody better around you. And then you reinforce with, okay, get some offensive line so he doesn't have to think that he has to be Superman all the time. Now he's got protection and he isn't scared for his life. Now you get him some really good weapons and you get him some guys who he doesn't have to just make them better. They can be great on their own. And then great plus great equals really freaking great.
Really great.
Really great.
Really great.
So I agree. I don't think they're as far away. Like, I mean, look at where they are right now. And this is a team that's usually only losing games by mid to late fourth quarter. They are a competitive team. And this is the worst version of the team I hope we see in a very long time. So with that being considered, like, obviously there's going to be some changes on defense. Most likely some guys could leave and go and what have you. But again, they don't have Gonzalez or Judon on defense. So, I think that this team is already showing you they have the tools and the toughness to be competitive in all these games, but now they need the talent to actually be able to put the car in the garage and put this away.